Hello, friends. Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm Dr. Ken Berry, a family physician, and this is Monday Night Live. Neisha and baby Bonnie are winding up a nap. They may be joining me in a few minutes. They may not. Uh, Neisha's been taking it easy since baby Bonnie's been in the world. She's 2 weeks old now and starting to learn to read. No, I'm just kidding. She's not learning to read, but she is learning to hold her head up a little bit, and she smiles pretty often. And I like to think that she's smiling because she loves me, not because she has gas. So I'm glad that you've joined me this evening. We're going to try to talk about a lot of important health topics, nutrition topics, medical diagnosis, medical treatments topics this evening, health, lifestyle, sleep, everything. Mental health for sure. I'm going to try to answer as many questions as I can for the next hour and a half, somewhere like that. I get lots of questions. We've already got over 500 people watching right now. I try to answer every question I can. I try to answer every super chat that I get, but sometimes we get so many of those, I'm unable to answer. I miss a few, but I try to get every single super chat and as many other questions as I can. Someone asked, I saw in the comments about the new book that's about to come out. I wrote a book called Common Sense Labs with my good friend Kim Howerton. It's all about which labs to ask your doctor for. Many doctors do not know how to properly diagnose metabolic syndrome, metabolic disease. They got a cursory level of training, but they didn't get the depth of training. And many doctors get lazy, they get busy, they get distracted, and they just forget about these labs. They can give them vital information about your overall health. And so we wrote a book called Common Sense Labs. It should be available for purchase within the next month. We're finishing up the very final details of this book. Someone asked, is that my first book? No, I actually wrote another book called Lies My Doctor Told Me. You can buy it on Amazon or at any bookstore. There's also an Audible version of Lies My Doctor Told Me. So I'm ready to do some questions and answers if you guys are ready. We got over 1,100 watching right now. Feel free. We're going to try to talk about some important stuff. So I'm going to try to make this worthy, share worthy. So I'm going to try to talk about enough important things that anybody you share this video with is going to get some good information out of it that they can actually apply and improve their health. So feel free to share this on your favorite social media. Don't share it on that other social media that you hate. Don't share it there. If you know someone who needs metabolic help, who's a sugar addict, who thinks they have to eat every 2 hours or they'll starve to death and die, you can send this in a text message or a direct message or an email and say, hey, check this out. This might really change your life. We got people from all over the country. I see. Where are you watching from? What city, what country, what state? I see Australia, Southern California, Florida, Utah. Brian, I think Brian asked about Butter Bob. I don't know if all you guys remember Butter Bob, but he used to make YouTube videos a long time ago about eating a very low-carb, high-fat diet. And he made this one video called Butter Makes Your Pants Fall Off, which I don't know how many million views that video got. But I love Butter Bob, and I reached out to him to try to get him to come on my channel for an interview, but he never responded. And I was told by another keto influencer that Bob had a tragedy, a personal tragedy in his life, and that he had just stepped away from the public eye, and that he might come back or he might never come back. But I think he's still alive and kicking, but I think he had a big loss in his family or something. And he just stepped away from social media. So if anybody knows Butter Bob personally, tell him I'd love to have him on the channel. He's welcome anytime just to reach out. Gallatin, Tennessee. Hey, neighbor. There's Alabama, South Carolina, Michigan, Texas, Houston, Kansas City. All right. I love it. I love it. Yes, Neisha is right in the end stages of a nap with baby Bonnie. If she wakes up and feels camera worthy, then she'll sit down with me and answer some questions in a while. If not, she'll just hand baby Bonnie off to me fullback style, and I'll let you guys oogle the baby because she is a cutie. Thank God she took her looks from her mother, and so we're very lucky in that regards that she doesn't look like me. Barbara says, you're a life changer. Beef, butter, bacon, and eggs changed my life. I love my new body. That's a powerful statement Barbara just made. How many of you guys couldn't honestly raise your hand and say, I love my body? If what you're currently thinking is, I freaking hate my body, then we got to talk about your diet. We got to talk about tightening it up. We got to talk about lowering the carbohydrates. We got to talk about removing the inflammatory foods from your diet. We got to talk about getting you healthier because there is a future where you love your body. Imagine that. A future day when you wake up and look in the mirror and go, yeah, okay, I like that. Wouldn't that be cool? Jennifer says we need to talk about her body. Well, I don't know how to take that, Jennifer, but Elisa loves her body. Who else loves their body? Be proud. Be loud. Tell me in the comments. Jennifer says, I still see a fat person, even though she's lost a ton of weight. This is very common, Jennifer. It's not just you. I have fat days. I used to weigh 297 pounds, be pre-diabetic. Just was a miserable sack of guts. Everything was inflamed. And I still have days. I don't know why, but I'll look in the mirror, it's like, I'm still fat. And I haven't changed from the day before when I thought I looked pretty darn good. It just happens. It's just a mental thing. You just have to work through that, and eventually you will see the reality of what's in the mirror. Connie says she thinks baby Bonnie looks just like me, maybe with the lights off. Connie, I don't know. Natalie Stone says she likes her body much better than she did 6 years ago. Yeah, I think a lot of us are in that boat. Some of us suffer from either chronic or episodic body dysmorphia. I have episodic body dysmorphia. Some days I see the truth in the mirror. Some days I look in the mirror, I'm like, what the hell? I'm an old fat guy. Then the next day I'm like, I don't know why I thought that. So funny. So funny. All right. Fergie Show says, where can you find beef tongue? So if you aggravate your meat manager at your supermarket enough, they'll get beef tongue in. They just have to know that there's enough demand that they're going to sell it. Where Neisha and I find beef tongue the most reliably is to go to a Hispanic grocery store, a Middle Eastern grocery store, an Asian grocery store, a Mediterranean grocery store. These people still know that beef tongue is a delicacy. And you can find lots of other beef, sheep, goat, goose, chicken, duck body parts at ethnic groceries. And every time we go to Nashville, if we have time, we either go to the Hispanic grocery or the Asian market because you never know what you're going to find in the meat market. And it's always usually a treat. All right. Jeff, wait a minute. Come back here. Jeff Webb, wait a minute. Let me go back up. I missed a super chat. I'm sorry. I'm going to try not to miss any tonight. Okay. Miss Diva says, tips to start Keto 101, please. So, Miss Diva, I have a playlist on this channel called Keto 101. And the very first video has the steps that you need to start Keto 101. But I'll give them to you quickly here. There's 5 steps. Number 1, remove all sugar from your diet. Definitely added sugar. Highly processed foods with sugar added, but also a lot of the naturally occurring fruit sugar. Don't drink any fruit juices. Don't drink any fruit juice smoothies. All that stuff is sugar coma. Step 2, get rid of all grains: wheat, rice, oats, corn, millet, amaranth, rye, quinoa. All that stuff is inflammatory and is going to spike your blood sugar and your insulin. Step number 3, get rid of all the vegetable seed oils. So margarine, vegetable oil, plant butter, what the literal, soybean oil, canola oil, peanut oil, safflower, sunflower. All these things are very high in omega-6 fatty acids and lead to chronic inappropriate inflammation. Step number 4 is to try to fast for 16 hours each day. So eat your food within an 8-hour window and try not to eat any food the other 16 hours of the day. Now, you already sleep 6, 7, 8 hours a day, so you're not eating for those hours. So you just have to tack on a few more hours, and you're fasting for 16 hours every day. Then step number 5 is to add lots of fatty red meat or fatty seafood and eggs with the yolk to your diet. That's it, Miss Diva. That's the 5 steps to going keto. And then just keep lowering the carbs, keep removing inflammatory foods, keep slowly increasing your fasting window. And before you know it, you're going to be getting all the amazing benefits of a ketogenic way of eating. The Gringo and Dominican Kitchen just started carnivore yesterday. I know eggs are good to eat, but was wondering if you recommend eating them every meal. You can eat them once a day. You can eat them every meal. You can eat them twice a day, 3 times a day. Eggs are virtually a perfect food. Just remember that there's every single nutrient in an egg that's needed to build a baby chicken or a baby duck or a baby quail, including the liver, the brain, and all that other stuff. So when you eat an egg, you're eating an entire chicken. You're eating nose to tail. So yes, eggs, bird eggs, wild bird eggs, any egg you can find that's fresh, eat it. You can scramble it. You can fry it. You can, I like mine over easy. But you can do them over well if you want. It's fine. Jeff Webb says, I have been doing carnivore for 17 days and I've already lost 10 pounds. Yeah, let's give Jeff a thumbs up for that. Instantly have more energy and feel better. My question is, sometimes I eat less than 1,000 calories and I'm not hungry again. Is that bad? I do the 6-hour eating window, beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. So many people, especially if they've got lots of stored body fat that they need to burn off, they'll notice that they're just eating 800, 1,000, 1,100, 1,200 calories a day. First and foremost, I don't advise you count the calories. I advise you eat until you're comfortably stuffed. Your body will take care of all this. So if you've got lots of stored body fat, you got to remember that body fat is locked up in a protein matrix. So when you burn the fat, you're also breaking down the protein. So you're actually getting a higher fat and protein macro than you may be calculating by what's going in your mouth. Don't forget that. It's very important. And so your body did that protein doesn't just disappear that was using to hold the fat into place. It's actually broken down and reused at other more important places since you don't have all that extra fat. But what will happen naturally is as you burn off the fat, you'll start to eat more and more, Jeff. And that's why I want you to eat till you're comfortably stuffed. Do not portion control. Do not calorie count. Just eat fatty meat and eggs until you're comfortably stuffed. And Jeff's doing beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. That's an excellent way to start. Try to do that for 90 days, Jeff, and I think you'll be very, very happy that you did. All right. Man, look at you guys. Look at all these questions. Good Lord. Hang on. Let me get caught up here. Okay, there's Jeff. Now, Tia, can I take Panadol containing caffeine while pregnant? Having a few headaches and regular Panadol doesn't work. Yeah, caffeine during pregnancy, there's been multiple studies done. Nobody can prove that a reasonable amount of caffeine is bad for you or bad for the baby when you're pregnant or breastfeeding. Neisha drank coffee every day when she was pregnant with both Beckett and Bonnie, and drank coffee every day while she was breastfeeding both Beckett and Bonnie. And I would not advise her to do that if I thought it was bad in any way. Thanks for the super sticker, and thank you, Tammy, for the super sticker. Wendy Jesus, does drinking boiled lemon rind water with salt break a prolonged fast? I'm fasting 3 days, 36 hours now. My brain doesn't know how to process, but I love it. No, probably it doesn't break your fast. What you don't want is the juice, a lot of lemon juice. A few drops is fine. Boiling the lemon rind just to get that lemon essence is fine. But a lot of people think since lemons are so sour, there's not a lot of sugar in there. Look up how many carbohydrates are in a lemon. It's quite a few. Same for grapefruit. It's so sour you think, well, there's not much sugar in this. Lemons and oranges and grapefruits are loaded with sugar. Yeah. So, but I think it's probably fine just to have the essence of the rind. The Smiths say, I watched testimonies of how people were cured of their cancer on keto carnivore diet, rectal, lung, breast cancer, to name a few. Is this a real possibility? So there's not nearly enough research on this yet for me to definitively say yes or no. But when I look at the physiology of cancer loves sugar. You can't argue that. There are some cancers that can limp by on fatty acids or ketones, but all cancers can thrive and metastasize with a good supply of sugar. And so when you're eating a ketovore, carnivore diet, you're by definition eating a very low carbohydrate diet. Cancer doesn't like that. Okay. When we do PET scans, we actually use sugar to tag the PET scan contrast. That's how cancer takes up the dye for the PET scan so that we can see the cancer on the PET scan. We don't attach it to fat or ketones or fatty acids. We attach it to sugar because cancer always loves sugar and sucks it out of your bloodstream. And so the more sugar there is, the happier your cancer is going to be. Does that make sense? Now, there's a lot of ongoing research in oncology about the higher the level of ketones in your body, being in ketosis, that looks like that strengthens your body's ability to fight the cancer. But these research studies are ongoing, so I can't give you a definitive yes or no. But my final answer is maybe, probably. Keto is a very, very good dietary strategy if you have cancer or if you want to prevent cancer. Tina Kelly, my sister has EOE. Her doctor wants to give her Dupixent since it's inflammation, allergy, illnesses. Wouldn't it be more appropriate to start with a simple keto or carnivore diet? Yes, 100%. So very often eosinophils will get elevated and they'll actually cause problems in the esophagus and other places because you're eating something that's causing an immune response. An inappropriate immune response, a chronic inappropriate inflammation, right? And so 100%, anybody that has EOE or any kind of reflux, heartburn, digestion, GERD, indigestion, small bacterial overgrowth, Crohn's, irritable bowel, ulcerative colitis, you 100% need to eat a real whole food, one ingredient keto diet or ketovore diet or a good carnivore diet. This is going to help your gastrointestinal system and help calm down your immune system function. Good question. Well, where did John go? Hang on, guys. There's John. Okay, John says, 45, Olympia, Washington, heart attack at 41. So he's 45 years old now. A1C was 9 5 months ago, which is really bad, especially if you've had a heart attack in the past. He's been eating a proper human diet, keto, since February. Labs done in May. In the 2 months of proper human diet, I lowered my A1C from 9 down to 6.7. Labs excited to see the results. Absolutely. So you've reversed your type 2 diabetes. Now you just have pre-diabetes. And when you keep doing a very low carbohydrate proper human diet for another 3 to 6 months, you're going to have reversed your pre-diabetes and you'll have a normal A1C, John. I hope you're ready for that because that's coming. Keep doing what you're doing. Todd, where are the testimonials for BPH relief? You're the only carnivore I've heard say this way of eating will relieve a swollen prostate. Have you had patients who have been successful to reduce their benign prostatic hypertrophy, BPH, enlarged prostate? Yes, multiple patients of mine. But then I actually have a BPH video on this channel. Go and read the comments. Because a lot of times when I make a video, a lot of people, their first comment will be, this is a load of bollocks. There's no way. This can't be true. But also down in the show notes, I've got the research I based it on. Benign prostatic hypertrophy, enlarged prostate, is basically caused by hyperinsulinemia, and chronic inappropriate inflammation. And when you remove those two things, the prostate's going to tend to go back closer to normal size. Now, I'm not saying it's going to cure it 100%. I'm saying it's going to improve it. It's going to decrease the severity of the symptoms, and you're going to be able to not take BPH meds for much, much longer. So go, Todd, and watch my video about BPH, prostate, and then read the comments, because then people come back 6 months, 9 months, 12 months later, and they're like, oh, my God, you're totally right. I started ketovore, carnivore, and my prostate symptoms are so much better now. Good question. Robin. Hey, Robin, Dr. Berry, Fox is saying that SSRIs don't work at all. Vindication for you. Yeah. So if you guys don't know, there's a new umbrella review study that looked at all of the different studies about serotonin reuptake inhibitors, like Prozac, Paxil, Zoloft, Lexapro, Effexor, and there's a few more. Serafim's one of them that's used for PMDD. But the whole premise of these, the whole hypothesis was that people with depression or mood disorders have low levels of serotonin in the brain, right? And so if you take this SSRI, it'll raise the serotonin levels in your brain. Well, it turns out that's total horseshit. Yeah. The umbrella study found no correlation whatsoever between serotonin levels and taking an SSRI or not, and whether your depression gets better or not, whether you have depression or not. It literally is unrelated, unassociated. Yeah, and I'm actually working on a YouTube video about that now. It'll be up on this channel in the next few days. But yeah, you're totally right. SSRIs like Prozac, Zoloft, Paxil, Effexor, they're worthless. What happens is you see all these commercials about Zoloft, and you're like, oh, that sounds good. Then you go see your doctor, and your doctor's like, oh, yeah, man, Zoloft's going to help you. Let me write you this prescription. What you're getting is the placebo effect. You're getting the subconscious subliminal messages from the advertising. Then you're getting your doctor, who you look up to and respect, saying, oh, yes, it will help you. What better setup for a placebo effect? And so some people swear by their SSRIs. They're like, you shut up, Dr. Berry. My SSRI saved my life. No, it didn't. Maybe the placebo effect from it made you feel better, and that saved your life, but Prozac didn't save your life. I'm sorry. All right, let's see. This is Elizabeth. My partner lost 30 pounds while in the hospital with inflammation, renal failure, and a host of other things. He needs to gain weight. What should he be eating to expedite the weight gain? So, Elizabeth, if your partner wants to gain muscle, then your partner needs to eat lots of fatty red meat and lots of eggs with the yolk and lift heavy weights. If your partner would like to gain fat, then your partner needs to eat lots of carbohydrates, and your partner will gain fat. So your partner gets to choose. What kind of weight do you want to gain? Natasha, doc told me potassium over the counter interacts with my low dose of irbesartan. Why is OTC potassium frowned upon? Doc just heard a heart murmur. Should I be worried? So on the heart murmur part, maybe you need to go see a cardiologist and see if it's something to worry about or not. Very often in young adults or in teenagers or adolescents, they can have a little murmur that's completely meaningless, no danger whatsoever. But if your doctor thinks that he or she heard a murmur, go see a heart specialist and let them check your heart out thoroughly. Now, the potassium. A lot of doctors, so there is a prescription for potassium. And doctors really love prescription things because it gives them the power to write the prescription, and then they give you the potassium, right? Well, the over-the-counter potassium is exactly the same potassium that they would write you in the prescription. But you take their power away if you just take the over-the-counter. Does that make sense? It's kind of a power play, power struggle. So now there is a potential interaction between irbesartan and any potassium, not just over the counter potassium. What I would encourage you to do, Natasha, is to watch my video on this channel about high potassium foods and just eat 1 or 2 or 3 of those every day. You're going to get plenty of potassium, and you won't have to take over the counter potassium or prescription potassium either. Margaret O'Neill, thanks for the super chat. It says your message was retracted. I'm not sure what happened there. Thomas, 61-year-old, lost 60 pounds, reverse type 2 diabetes. My blood pressure is now 120/75, which is perfect, by the way. Saw my cardiologist after a very high coronary artery calcium score. She said the red meat from my carnivore diet is the worst thing I could eat right now. She gave me the Heisman about the cholesterol LDL argument. Yeah, so she's wrong. Obviously the carnivore diet, the keto diet that you've been eating has reversed multiple risk factors that you have for heart attack and stroke. The reason that your CAC score is high is because of the shitty diet that you've been eating for the last few decades. Because the CAC score measures calcium buildup. And so that's the final end result. After you've had damage to your coronary arteries and your heart, your body first fixes them with cholesterol, and then ultimately it stabilizes them with calcium. to keep them to make them stable so you don't have a heart attack. So that the calcium plaquing that you've got, that's from decades of a crappy diet. That's not from the few months or the year of fatty red meat you've been eating. That's foolishness. And I'm sure your doctor means well, and many doctors do mean well, but that does not keep them from saying stupid things on the regular. All right. Thank you so much for all the questions, guys. Oh, I wanted to ask you guys a question. Who was the first keto doctor, keto specialist, keto evangelist, keto guru that you ever saw a video from? I want you to tell me in the comments. Who was the first person that you ever went, keto? I never heard of that. Let me check into this. Darby says, congrats on Bonnie. I've had Graves' disease since 2015, type 1 diabetes since January of 22. Did 100 days tier 4, regular carnivore, last 24, no blood sugar issues without insulin. Graves meds 5 months and gaining weight. Next step to wake up B cells. So you may or may not be able to wake up your B cells, which are the cells inside of Darby's pancreas that make insulin. Some doctors, PhD and MD or otherwise, think you might be able to with a carnivore or a very, very low carbohydrate keto diet. Other docs say, yeah, you probably lost them for life. But either way, you need to continue eating a very, very low carbohydrate diet so that either you, A, won't need any insulin, or B, will only need a very small amount of insulin. I hear Bonnie Blue crying, so get ready. You might get to see this baby. Stephanie, thanks for the super chat, Stephanie. It says your message was retracted. I don't know what that means. All right. Sherry, my sister has a painful condition, interstitial cystitis. Botox treatment has been recommended, but what would you recommend for immediate help? So, Shari, I've had multiple women tell me that their interstitial cystitis went completely away on a carnivore diet. Some get better on a keto diet, but for many women, it's got to be a carnivore diet to make the interstitial cystitis go completely away. Now, the Botox treatments will probably give your sister some temporary symptom relief, so she won't have as much pain and cramping, but it's not going to fix any underlying root cause whatsoever. The root cause of interstitial cystitis is hyperinsulinemia and chronic inappropriate inflammation in the wall of the bladder. And by fixing her diet, she can at least reduce her IC symptoms by 80, 90, up to 100%. Good question. Greg says, will the carnivore diet heal autoimmune hepatitis as it does with other autoimmune issues? Maybe, Greg. The human liver has one of the best capabilities of regeneration. It can regenerate and heal better than any other organ in our body, except maybe our skin. The liver is almost magical in its ability to heal. So when you remove all of the inflammatory things that are confusing your immune system and causing your immune system to be overactive in an inappropriate way, it's entirely likely that the autoimmune hepatitis will improve, if not almost go completely away. Angelic Annihilator. I'm in college and I need all the brain power I can get besides carnivore, sleep, and exercise. It just jumped on me. Thanks, thanks YouTube for just jumping like that. Oh God, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go back. So if you're eating a proper human diet, you're getting plenty of sleep. I would recommend that you get morning sun on your face every morning for 10 minutes. Maybe go for a walk in the morning sun early in the morning. I think that wakes your brain up much faster so that you're more sharp and more alert. A lot of people would say that if you have a place you can walk barefoot safely on the ground, that walking barefoot in the sun, because then you're actually grounded to the earth, and that may or may not be a big deal. Okay, but there's lots of different things that you can do like that will help. But as far as nootropics, I've experimented with so many of those things. I can't tell that they really help at all. Let's see here. Hello, I'm pushing. There we go. Okay, I got that one. Oh, I think I've got. Yeah, okay. So the rest of Angelic Annihilator's question. Is there any supplement shown to boost cognitive function or memory? There's a lot of static and chatter about this on the interwebs, but when you look at the research, it's just pitiful. People have talked about reishi mushroom, lion's mane mushroom, all the different nootropics, which I've probably tried 50 different ones because I have ADHD, and I would also, love to have a photographic memory and be a, genius. I can't tell they help me. When I look at the research, it's just foolishness. There's just not a lot of research to support that. Okay, we got that one. I got that one. I don't know why I'm having to push the button. Okay, Nancy. Dr. Barry, my son is 42 and is 6'4" and 386 pounds. He has hemochromatosis and PTSD. He loves liver. Is liver okay for him to eat? He has lost 23 pounds in 3 weeks. So I'm assuming he's eating a proper human diet. Liver is fine for him. He can have liver once or twice a week. That's totally fine. But make sure he's eating a very, very low carbohydrate diet. That's all, not only going to help with his severe obesity, it's also going to help with the PTSD. That's one mental health issue that I've had hundreds of people reach out to me on social media and say, dude, I'm a vet from Iraq, from Afghanistan, from wherever. And when I eat a proper human diet, my PTSD symptoms are so manageable, I don't even need medications. Oh, well, hello there, little baby. Look at this baby girl. You see her 11s? She's got them naturally. She can't help it. Why are you making that face for? What are you doing? What are you doing? She's always very pensive, very thoughtful looking. What are you doing? You saying hi? You waving? Wave. Hi. Oh, little Bonnie. You're so sweet. Come lay right here. You lay right there? Okay. All right. Angie Horn says, you introduced me to keto. You also introduced me to Clubhouse. I've gained so many friends. So grateful. Excellent. I love it. I haven't been on Clubhouse in a while. I need to get back over there and do an audio on Clubhouse. That's kind of a fun. What? What'd you say, girl? Okay. Let's see where we're at here. June says, what is the best way to clean the liver and lower my ferritin level? It's 1,250. I've been booze-free since November of 21. First of all, congrats. That's a good thing. So ferritin is a marker of inflammation. It's an acute phase reactant, and I believe it's a marker of metabolic syndrome. So I've got a metabolic syndrome video made. I'm going to post it tomorrow. So come back to this channel tomorrow, June, and watch my metabolic syndrome video. And make sure that you've been either diagnosed appropriately, because many doctors don't even know how to diagnose somebody with metabolic syndrome. But if you do have metabolic syndrome, then that's why your ferritin's high. As you correct your metabolic syndrome by eating a proper human diet, your ferritin level will come down as well. So as far as cleaning the liver, detoxing the liver, the best cleanse for liver and kidney in the world is not eating, just fasting. If you have to spend $1 on a liver cleanse or a kidney cleanse or a whole body cleanse, you just wasted $1. Okay. The best way in the world. Look in the Guinness Book of World Records, and it says the world record champion for liver cleanses and kidney cleanses is just not eating, just fast. Oh, did she? I was afraid that was going to happen. Little spit up there.
I just drowned her in milk, apparently.
Oh, Toto's taking care of it. Oh, you didn't get it all. She got a little more.
Oh, come here.
There you go, baby.
Sorry, buddy.
There you go, baby. You feel better now?
Are you?
Thank you, Nancy Bunch. Yeah, go ahead and hit it, and then we can.
Okay.
I'm just scrolling back. Well, keep that head up. Keep that head up, little girl.
She's 2 weeks old today. She was born 2 weeks ago. Isn't that crazy?
Nancy says, I have a horrid brain bleed pain. Will this help? So I'm guessing you meant that you had a hemorrhagic stroke, in which you can be left with just severe chronic headaches after that. If any dietary plan is going to help, it's going to be a very low carbohydrate, proper human diet, but I can't guarantee that it's going to help the headaches.
I literally just woke up.
I thought you might have. You guys were, I went in there to wake you up and you were snoozing. So it's like, okay. Neisha, this is just out of bed. It takes me like 4 hours to get my makeup on and stuff. Not Neisha. She just wakes up and she looks like that. You hold that head still, girl.
I need help, Daddy. I'm a needle.
Pamela says, do you think it's okay to supplement with pregnenolone and DHEA? So many people over the age of 40, their pregnenolone levels and their DHEA levels start to nosedive. Not everybody, but many people. And so at least for a while, Pamela, it's probably fine to take a pregnenolone or a DHEA supplement. Now, many people find that when they're getting plenty of cholesterol in their diet, that's what your body uses to make pregnenolone and DHEA. And also eating a diet that really, really maximizes adrenal gland function, all of a sudden they're making plenty of pregnenolone and DHEA again. Okay, you're going to have to hold this baby so I can scroll. She's trying to bite my finger.
You need to tilt it this way.
Okay,
We're kind of out of the screen.
There they are. There they are. All right. She's a grunter, by the way. Anybody else have a baby or a grandbaby that grunts like that? She's like, ah.
Hi, baby.
Yep, she loves to bite my finger.
Beckett did that too.
Joseph says, how do I know that fatty liver and metabolic syndrome are reversing? So you have your doctor recheck the labs and recheck the ultrasound that they used to diagnose you with fatty liver and metabolic syndrome. And those labs and that ultrasound just keep improving until they're back to normal again. That's how. All right. Kyle says, my father, who's 68 years of age, has stage 4 CKD with 18% remaining kidney function due to metabolic syndrome, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, kidney disease, and atherosclerosis. And this is one of the many dangers of having metabolic syndrome, whether your doctor's diagnosed you or not. He is months away from dialysis. Could keto halt his CKD and prevent dialysis? If so, how much protein should he eat? So first and foremost, protein is not bad for your dad's kidneys, Kyle. What's destroyed your dad's kidneys is sugar and carbohydrates. That's what's destroyed your dad's kidney function, not protein. I guarantee you your dad didn't eat a carnivore diet for all these decades, right? Right. So he needs to eat fatty meats. Okay, he'll get enough protein. If he gets a little bit too much protein, it's not going to hurt his kidneys. We've actually seen multiple hundreds and hundreds of people reverse and improve their CKD. We've seen people with stage 4 CKD go back to stage 3 and even stage 2 CKD. So don't give up hope for your dad. If he's amenable, he's only 68, so you guys can still have a good conversation. It's not like he's 98, But you can say, Dad, look, try this for 90 days, and then we're going to recheck your lab work, and you might very well find that his kidney function has significantly improved after 90 days of either keto or ketovore or carnivore, whichever one he thinks sounds the best to him. All right. James, California, hair growing back after 9 months keto. Is this possible? Yeah, we hear this sometimes. For some people, this does not happen. For other people, their hair does start to really grow back. And they're like, I feel like I've got more hair than I used to. And then we have a few people that say that their gray hair goes, at least in some degree, goes away. Not everybody.
That's not happened for me.
Not me either. But we've had many people say that their gray hair got much, much better or went completely away. But yes, hair growth. And now remember, it takes how many months for your hair to grow 2 inches? Many, many, many months. Right? So you can't expect hair growth overnight.
Can you open that? Oh,
yeah. I'll open that for you. That's the least I can do for a woman that had me a beautiful baby girl. Ibister says, hello, sir. I have a question. How much protein is too much for when need to break through a stall? I'm 133 kilograms and can't break through the stall. So I don't believe that there's any amount of protein that's too much, as long as you're adhering to 2 rules. First of all, you're eating fatty meat until you're comfortably stuffed, and then you stop eating. And number 2, that you're not using protein powders, which are completely artificial and not ancestrally appropriate. You might be able to get too much protein if you're slamming protein drinks all day. Okay? I'm talking about protein from real food, meat and eggs, seafood. That's where protein comes from, okay? And so probably I would recommend first thing you do is increase the amount of fat that you're eating. And for a lot of people who are trying to lose fat, they're like, wait, what? I got several videos on this channel that explain why that works.
Look at her
What's she
following
doing?
your voice.
Hi, you baby. Hi, you baby girl. She's getting more and more alert every day. It's so cool. Okay, I got that one. Zarina, I have a 7-year-old and I'm slowly transitioning her to the carnivore diet. May I know what supplements I could give her? So probably the only 2 supplements she's going to need is iodine and vitamin D. When I designed the mineral drops with Keto Chow, it has iodine in it. If you can get your 7-year-old to eat liver, and a lot of people are like, what? But if you've got your 7-year-old almost transitioned to keto, I bet you money that if you made Neisha's chicken nugget recipe on her YouTube channel, but use chicken liver instead of chicken nuggets, your 7-year-old would scarf them up, love them, and ask for them on a weekly basis.
I disagree, and I think you should just put it in meatloaf.
Or you can mix it with meatloaf. That's
Most
right.
kids love meatloaf. You can use, there's tons of sugar-free ketchup. Primal Kitchen has one. G. Hughes has one that's pretty good. And put the liver in the meatloaf. I have a wonderful meatloaf recipe, and most people are not going to be able to detect the liver.
You've got a meatloaf recipe on your channel. Yes. So her channel is Neisha, Neisha. That's all. She's one of the very few people on YouTube that her first name is her channel. So just go to YouTube and type in Neisha, and you'll find all of her wonderful recipes. Serena, Keto RN, says, for those asking about kidney disease and keto, listen to this. Listen to this very carefully. If any of you guys are worried about your kidney functioning, too much protein, and I've got CKD, this is Serena. She's an RN. For those asking about kidney disease and keto, my mother is 78 years old, was stage 4 CKD. She has lost over 60 pounds, and now all of her kidney labs are normal. She's a 78-year-old woman, had stage 4 CKD. We were just talking to somebody whose dad had stage 4. Here's your answer right here. Keto, Ketovore, carnivore is the best diet for kidney health, okay? There is no other answer. If your nephrologist or your primary care doctor says, oh, you need to eat a plant-based diet, no, I'm sorry. That's not how human beings have eaten for the last 3 million years. Thank you, Buck, for the super chat. Danette says, I can't pay attention to you, Doc. The baby has all my attention. I know, right? She's so alert and absolutely beautiful. She's going to be so smart listening to you. God bless and thanks for your time. Thank you so much, Danette, for that. I think she is going to be pretty smart. For those of you who don't know, our 2.5-year-old Beckett is already taking kindergarten classes at 2.5 years old.
He's homeschooled.
He's homeschooled, and he's already well into his kindergarten year, and is loving it. It's not drudgery. It's not work. We're not forcing him. He freaking loves it. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll get it back. Look at that little chubby cheek baby, and that beautiful, voluptuous mother she's got. Holy. Hi, how you doing? Thanks, Ron B, for the super chat. Yeah, I got that one. Raymond says, can the meats be salmon, fatty beef, fatty pork, steak, bacon, sausage links? Yes, all that. Absolutely. Thank you, John, for the super chat. This baby girl is something else. And she's only 2 weeks old, so she hasn't had any solid food yet. But Neisha will definitely record the first bite of solid food she takes on her YouTube channel.
Well, and Instagram too.
And Instagram. What's your Instagram handle?
Neisha loves it.
Neisha loves it.
There's a dead account that has Neisha, so I can't make it Neisha.
So and there's no way to get it.
No, but it has no post and no profile picture.
That's dumb.
I don't know. So
thank you, Lee, for the super chat. Let's see. Here's E. Hamilton. My 10-year-old daughter has JIA and on Actimra. Is carnivore okay for kids, or is keto more appropriate? Will this help JIA? So, yeah, 100% carnivore. If she's amenable to that and she enjoys meat, she can eat 100% carnivore, and it's absolutely going to slow down the progression and decrease the severity of flare-ups 100%.
Juvenile arthritis.
Yeah, and you may want to watch some videos by Michaela Peterson, Jordan Peterson's daughter. She suffered from the same thing, and she took every medicine in the book. Everything helped.
Surgery.
Yep, she had to have an ankle joint replacement. If only Jordan had known about carnivore when Michaela was 10, I bet both of them would. If they could snap their fingers and go back in time, they both would immediately snap their fingers, so they could go back in time, and she could be on a carnivore diet and avoid all the medicines and avoid all the surgeries that she had to have. Susan, are lactose-free dairy products helpful for keto PhD since the milk sugars have been removed? So definitely lactose-free dairy is less bad than dairy containing all the lactose. But for many of us, I'm one of these people, she's not. For many people, the casein protein and the whey protein is inflammatory and tends to raise our insulin level. And so if I ingest too much dairy, I'll start to get fat in the belly. Now this one, if it's lactose-free milk, she seems to do, I'm pointing at Neisha here, not Bonnie. Her milk has lactose in it because Neisha made it.
I use the Fairlife. Fairlife? Yeah, Fairlife.
Yep. And so definitely lactose-free is less bad, but I don't think that makes it good, especially.
But I don't like drink it by the cup. I just put it on my coffee.
Right. She puts a little splash in her coffee. Big D.
Although I did a few times have a glass when I was pregnant with her. I just craved cold milk for some reason.
Thank you for the super chat, Mary BK. Marnie says, hey, Bonnie, this super chat is for you. Oh, Bonnie, we'll put that in your diaper fund. Angelic Annihilator, is there any research to support efficacy of PEMF therapy, pulsed electromagnetic field therapy, which is used by many naturopaths? No, I'm sorry. I've looked into this. I was a very forward-thinking before the clinic fire. When I was practicing full-time, I looked into everything. I looked into therapeutic lasers. I looked into pulsed electromagnetic fields. There's just no research that supports it whatsoever. And it doesn't really make any ancestral sense because we didn't have pulsed electromagnetic field therapy for the last 2.5 million years. We've been on this planet and we did just fine. So now I don't think that's the magical end-all be-all. I'd love to see some meaningful research on PEMF therapy, but I don't think there is any. Big D Travels. My answer to earlier question on stroke. I had a stroke on January 22nd. My A1C was 9. Went from Atkins to keto to carnivore. July 22nd, my A1C was 5. So this guy went from an A1C of 9 in January. 5 months later, A1C of 5. Stroke symptoms gone. No carb, no sugar, works. Big D Travel says, if you got any questions, come talk to him. That's amazing, Big D. Well done. Well done. Brian from Eastern Tennessee. What is the max triglyceride numbers one can have and still be in a healthy range? Is it measuring the size of triglycerides necessary? No meaningful research supports measuring the size of triglycerides. You want your triglycerides to be at least under 150. And if any of you guys are watching from the UK, you want your triglycerides to be under 1.7. I just happen to have my conversion chart here. I usually can never remember the conversion. So fussy. She almost never cries, but she does a lot of grunting and yeah. So triglycerides under 150, and that is one of the markers of metabolic syndrome. Let me give a big shout out to our moderators, Marcia, Mitzi, Kevin, Paola. Thank you guys so much for helping us out in the comments. And Two Crazy Ketos. They help us out sometimes. I haven't seen them tonight, but
we talked about there's a few tickets left to the summit.
Oh, so we're having a Proper Human Diet Summit in Nashville, Tennessee on September the 17th. If you'd like to be there live, there's 2 or 3 tickets left. You can go to a website,
PhDvirtualSummit.com,
and get your ticket right now.
Maybe one of the moderators will put it in the comments.
Yeah, if you don't mind, Marcia or Mitzi, put that the link in the comments. But there's 2 or 3 tickets left. You can get them right now and come see us in person. But if you're unable to attend, Keto Chow is actually going to host it live on the internet for free. So
virtual.
Yeah,
So
virtually.
it's both. It's in person and virtual.
Yeah. But if you want to come in person and take an Ussie with me and Neisha and baby Beckett and baby
And
Bonnie,
we'll have T-shirts and books
and some very, very smart speakers.
and speak. I just was talking about what and then if you want to go buy your T-shirt ahead of time, what is it? ShopPhD.com.
ShopPhD.com.
Or PhDshop.com.
No, it's ShopPhD.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. But you can get Proper Human Diet T-shirts and hoodies, and you can get beef, butter, bacon, and eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. T-shirts and hoodies and tank tops and all kinds of other stuff. Mark Simpson says, when during keto carnivore should we begin to ratchet down or eliminate our blood pressure medicine? So you're going to buy a blood pressure cuff that checks on your bicep, not on your wrist, and you're going to check your blood pressure twice a day at home. You're going to sit down, relax, chill out for 15 minutes, check your blood pressure, and write it down. Do that twice a day. You'll watch those numbers. You'll see them come down, and at some point, they'll be down low enough where you can call your doctor, always call your doctor, or go see your doctor before you stop any prescription medication and say, hey, my blood pressure is running great. Can I take a 2-week trial off of whatever blood pressure medicine you're taking? Or can I decrease the dosage of it? And most docs, if you put it like that as a trial, like I don't want to stop it. I just want to take a 2-week trial and see what my blood pressure does. Most docs will say, yeah, that's fine. Try that and just keep up with your blood pressure like you're doing, and we'll see what it does. And a lot of people, their blood pressure returns to normal so quickly, especially if you're on 3 or 4 blood pressure medications, that when they stand up, they start getting lightheaded. And that's how they know it's time to stop some blood pressure medicine. Robert, keto for 4 months. My triglycerides went down to 43 and my HDL went up to 58. That's beautiful. But my A1C went from 5.7 to 5.8. Any ideas? So a 1/10 of a point change in your A1C is lab error. So it may be exactly the same. It may have went up a 1/10 or it may have went down a 1/10. It's impossible to know. What we're looking for is the overall trends. The fact that your triglycerides went down and your HDL went up, that's wonderful evidence to me that you're doing this at least pretty close to right. Robert, you're going to have to lower your carbohydrate intake a little bit more. So figure out how many carbohydrates you're eating a day and decrease that amount. Cut it by 33% or 50% and keep it that low for 3 months and then get the A1C checked again. You're almost there. You have prediabetes right now. And in 3 months from now, if you cut the carbs low enough, you'll have a normal A1C, which means that you reversed your prediabetes. And you can come back and tell us in the comments when that happens, and I'll congratulate you. All right, let's see what we got here. Dang, these. Okay, here we go. Thank you to the moon for the super chat. Abigail says, can Ketovore help me avoid postpartum hair loss? Excellent question. I'm 7 weeks postpartum and have always had terrible hair loss with my other kids. So Neisha had quite a bit of hair loss with Beckett. But it all grew back, and her hair is it's luxurious. Her hair is radiant. Her hair is glorious. Toto, will you slap her? Okay, we'll talk to her or something. Maybe talk to her. Nothing. So now with Bonnie's only 2 weeks old, but Neisha has had no hair loss at all yet. And so we're keeping a close eye on this. So with Beckett, she was kind of dirty keto most of that pregnancy. And then keto while she breastfed. But with this pregnancy, she was ketovore to carnivore the whole, even before pregnancy, during pregnancy, and even after pregnancy. She has had no hair loss at all. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know what happened to Lily. She had a wild hair. Thanks for the super chat, Emma Golly. Lynn, would this carnivore cure C. diff, no pain, just diarrhea, if I'm on lion diet since I started it because at first thought it was too much fat? 80 years old, 124 pounds, 5'7", had this in my 60s. So eating a few months of a carnivore diet is going to encourage all the good bacteria to repopulate your gut. And C. diff, a lot of people think it's a very vigorous and strong bacteria, but it's not at all. Yes. Now kick the dog out.
She's hungry.
Hello, bunny. So what's going to happen is when you repopulate with all the good bacteria, C. diff's just going to go away. C. diff cannot flourish in an environment where you've got lots of good bacteria. Okay. A lot of people don't understand that. Some doctors don't understand that. They think C. diff, if you're positive for that, you've got to have antibiotics right now. That often makes C. diff worse. Okay. Okay, Bonnie, hold on. Let me scroll here. Larry, keto 1 month, being very strict, having a gout flare up, ate a lot of shrimp the other night. What's up? So I've got a video on this channel about gout. And some people, when they first start keto, within the first month, they'll have a gout flare up, but then they never have another one. So Larry, that's what I would predict for you as well. It's almost like you've got to clear the uric acid out of your system. Me and Bonnie just burped at the same time. Oh, there's another one. Good job, girl. But after this first gout attack, I promise you, if you have any further gout attacks, they'll be so mild you probably won't even take any medication for them. Okay, but shrimp does not cause gout. Meat does not cause gout. Alcohol and fructose, too much fruit, too many carbs, too much inflammation. That's what causes gout. Sit right there, my girl. Sit right there, my girl. Yes. Got a baby. Got a baby. Oh, yes. All right. Thank you, Rudy Bob. Elizabeth, does carnivore diet help with, well, where did it go? Help with fatty liver. Oh my God, Elizabeth. Yes, honey, you've come to the right place. I've got about 5 videos on this channel about fatty liver. The only diet on the planet that reverses and gets rid of fatty liver is ketovore carnivore, a proper human diet. That's it. There's multiple research studies going on right now about the power of a proper human diet to reverse fatty liver. Plant-based doesn't do that. The ADA diet, the AHA diet, the American Gastroenterological Society's diet does not reverse fatty liver. There is no FDA-approved medicine to reverse fatty liver currently because it's caused by eating too many carbohydrates. All right. To the moon. Is eating fatty meat okay for an ApoE4 genotype? Yeah, you're still a human being, so you need to eat a proper human diet. Okay. Every human being for the last 2.5 million years who was ApoE4 positive ate lots of fatty meat and eggs with the yolk. You're no different. Okay. That little genetic, I don't even want to call it a genetic defect. I think it probably has some benefits. That genetic difference in you and other people, that's not a death sentence. It's no harbinger of doom. It's basically going to turn out within 10 years from now. Just remember this comment. 10 years from now, ApoE4 is going to be meaningless. Nobody will even talk about it anymore, including the guru who's currently talking about it and got you worried. How about that, baby? You like that? Cindy, I began carnivore as an elimination diet for my sudden inflammation, nerve, and muscle pain. Pulse is 68, BP 113/73, glucose 83, no meds, 56-year-old female. My appetite is gone. Is this okay? Yeah. So eat when you're hungry. Eat until you're comfortably stuffed, and then don't eat again until you're hungry, Cindy. Your body will take care of everything else. That's all you have to worry about. Aaron Crawford. Will just 12.5 milligrams of metoprolol daily keep me insulin resistant despite doing carnivore and OMAD? Very strict on both. Thanks. Probably not, Karen. That's a low dose. And if you're eating low carb enough, your insulin level is going to come back down to normal, okay, regardless if you're taking the metoprolol. Now, the metoprolol may keep it a little higher than it would be otherwise, but it's not going to keep you severely insulin resistant on that low of a dose with that good of a proper human diet. Rudy Bob, after adding some veggies and small amounts of fruit, my blood sugar has risen from an 80 average to 125 average. Should I worry yet? So the way to know for sure is to get your A1C checked after 3 months of the extra veggies and fruit. Some of us can eat veggies and small amounts of fruit and do great and have beautiful numbers. Some of us, like me, if I eat fruit every day, I would gain 10 pounds in the belly and my A1C would start to go up. It's just the difference in our genetic backgrounds. So get the A1C checked, and then you'll have your answer. Come on, YouTube. I'm holding a baby. Why do you keep doing that? Manuel, can my dog be on a carnivore diet? Yes. Every dog and cat listening to this video is a carnivore by definition. Cats are obligate carnivores, which means they should be fed only meat only. Dogs are facultative carnivores, which means they need mostly meat, but they can tolerate some carbs because they've lived around human beings for so many tens of thousands of years that they've been eating our trash and our garbage for so long that they've kind of developed an ability to tolerate more carbs. But every cat and dog watching this live, and I know there's some dogs and cats watching this live, you're a carnivore. You need to eat either all meat if you're a cat or mostly meat if you're a dog. That's just how it is. John says, in a 90-day pure carnivore stint looking for a magnesium source, saw your old video where you said, no, dummy, just eat your leafy greens. Any new advice? Yeah, if you're carnivore, don't eat your leafy greens. If leafy greens cause inflammation in you like they do in many people, then you shouldn't eat your leafy greens. In the past, our ancestors got magnesium from the blood that was still in the meat. When they killed a huge wildebeest, they couldn't hang it up and drain the blood. So the blood stayed in the animal. Okay. And so blood is very rich in magnesium. They also drank groundwater, which is very often full of electrolytes. Right. Now, I don't recommend that you drink blood and drink mud puddle water. And so that's why I came up with daily minerals with Keto Chow, so that you can get magnesium and potassium and sodium and chloride and all the other minerals, including iodine, that we used to get from our diet, but it's really hard to get from our diet these days. There's a link down in the show notes for the daily minerals if you want to check them out with a built-in discount. That's right. All right. Yeah, somebody thinks blood is deadly. Yeah, human beings have been ingesting blood ever since we've been on this planet.
There's still people,
people on the daily, culture, that use blood in different recipes and just mix blood with milk and drink it. There's still humans that do that every day. Nothing dangerous or deadly about it.
It rained.
It's part of our heritage. Oh, did it? Excellent. Excellente. All right. Jeremy says, does eating grain-fed beef flare up autoimmune disease? For a very small percentage of people, maybe. But for the vast majority of people on the planet, grain-fed beef is going to be just fine for you. But there's probably a few people who
I'd say, depending on the severity of autoimmune diseases and how many autoimmune diseases, that's where it starts to seem to matter.
Yep. Francis says, do you need Keto Chow Daily Minerals on keto, or is it something, and then it stops. So most people eating a ketovore carnivore diet don't really need this for long. You might need it at the beginning, but if you're eating liver once a week or you're eating some other organ meat, mixing it with your meatloaf, like Neisha's recipe, then you're getting everything you need. Okay. The only thing you might not be getting is iodine, depending on where you live in the world, because some soils just don't have iodine in the soil. And so you have to have another source. Okay. But the people who really need this are people who are eating the standard American diet and a plant-based whole food diet. They need this bad. So if you got any relatives who are vegans, vegetarians, following the American Diabetes Association, this would be a great Christmas present, because I guarantee you they're deficient in multiple different minerals. I think I've got everything here. Oh, wait, who's this? Cameron. I have Hashimoto's, and each time I work out, I get elevated creatinine kinase. Is there a connection? No. When you work out, your creatinine kinase is going to go up because you do muscle damage. That's what working out does, is it causes microscopic damage to your muscles, and then they heal and repair and rebuild and get stronger. It doesn't surprise me at all that your CK goes up after you work out.
Look at her.
She is on a tear. Yeah, Dari says, go to England and ask for some pudding. You'll be eating blood. That's exactly. Lily, shut up.
Bonnie said, don't yell, Daddy.
See how that works, Neisha? Teresa, yes, Granny Berry is watching. My Granny Berry is 92 years old. She's staying with our parents down in Alabama, and she loves it when you guys tell her hi. Say hi, Granny Berry, and where you're saying hi from. She loves to see that. Look, Granny Berry, there's Bonnie Blue. Jeff says he eats liver every day. I think that's fine. There are some people who are afraid you will get vitamin A toxicity, but there's been never a recorded case in the history of medical research of that happening with a domesticated animal.
Just polar bears.
Just polar bears.
And if you have access to a polar bear, you're probably not watching this video.
Right. Do you know what time the event starts? Mitzi says that it doesn't say on the website.
9
a.m.
We haven't like put the schedule up yet, but it's going to be like doors open at 8. Everything starts at 9.
Okay, there you
Lunch break around 12. Official ending is at 5 for general admission, and then we'll bring everybody back in with a VIP ticket at 6 for dinner.
Yep. June says, is gluconeogenesis real? And what does the body do with the new glucose? Does it store it or burn it? So yes, gluconeogenesis is very, very real. Every human being, every mammal on the planet, there's constantly some gluconeogenesis going on, and that's a good thing. Gluconeogenesis is not bad. Okay. There are cells in your body that don't have a nucleus and don't have mitochondria. One example of that is your red blood cells. Your red blood cells have to have glucose, and your liver's happy to make that glucose with a process called gluconeogenesis. Your body uses that glucose for those cells that don't have mitochondria that have to burn glucose. That's what that is used for. Your body doesn't build anything with glucose whatsoever. Nothing is built with glucose. It just burns it as fuel or stores it as fat. That's your two options. John says, any advice for overcoming advanced endometriosis? I actually have a video on this channel, John, about endometriosis. And I'll give you a hint. Eating a proper human diet is going to greatly reduce the severity of symptoms and the frequency of flare-ups. All right, Neisha, we're over 8 o'clock. Thank you so much, guys, for hanging out with us. If you didn't get your question answered tonight, and it's important to you that you do so, you can become a patron on my Patreon. There's a link down in the show notes. It's a quick sign up. We have 4 additional live Q&As, just like this one, but instead of 3,300 people watching, there's only 100 or 200 people. So we answer more questions in greater detail. So become a patron and get all of your questions answered and get more video with Bonnie Blue and my beautiful wife. Yeah. Any final announcements? Lovely wife?
I don't know. I just woke up. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
Can't think of
Thanks so much, guys, for hanging out with us. Thanks for sharing this video with people you think it will help. That's how we reach new people, and that's how you help us to change their life. See you next time. See you next time.